The Celtics have an ace up their sleeve, and that is that Jayson Tatum is currently looking like he is going to set a record on coming back from an Achilles rupture. Because right now, according to all reports from up in Boston, he is way ahead of schedule. And if they can get him back early, this is a team that could once again legitimately make a deep playoff run. Now, I don't know if they have the depth to make a championship right now, especially now with Jayson at center. But if they get Tatum back early, look out for this Celtics team. They can be dangerous. And yeah, if Tatum can come back a little early, that would be huge for the program there in Boston. As you can see, the normal Achilles rupture timeline, usually it's about 9 to 12 months before you can even think about getting back. But according to Boston media, Jayson Tatum is only comeback arc harder than really we've ever seen before. Guys like Dame, guys like Tyrese Halliburton, they're going to be missing the entire year. But not JT. He is coming back at an unprecedented rate. Again, according to reports, nothing is confirmed yet, but he's coming off a year averaging 27, 9, and 6 in 36 minutes per game while shooting 45% from the field and 34% from 3 on 10 attempts. And that's really been my biggest grievance against Tatum over the last year or so. I mean, he's shooting 57% from 2 on 10.2 attempts and 34% from 3 on 10.1 attempts. He's been top 6 in the MVP for the last 4 years, though, so I can't really fight too much against it. And at 6'9", 215, I'd just like to see him get downhill more often because that is where he is at his best, in my opinion. Getting to the rim, dishing to teammates if needed. But yeah, return by March, which would be about 10 months of recovery time, which would be, again, very unprecedented, would be crazy. And if the Celtics can stay around 500, a Tatum return in March for the last month and a half of the season would be huge, right? With guys like Anthony Simons, Derrick White, you still have Jaylen Brown, Josh Minot, and Jayson who will be starting at center. This is a serviceable starting five. Of course, the front court is very, very shaky. The bench is all right as well. But once you add Tatum back into there, it looks like a really good rotation. Again, missing out on a big man, but it still looks like more than a serviceable rotation for Tatum and Brown to be able to carry. And speaking of JB, he's got something to prove. This is a guy that has been in Tatum's shadow for quite some time now. He, of course, has that 5-year, $315 million contract, and people are saying he's overpaid. So this is his year to go out and prove that he can really be that guy in Boston. He averaged 23 a game last year with 5.6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 1.2 steals in 34 minutes a game. And again, that was as the number 2 option in this offense. He shot 46% from the field, only 32% from 3 on 6.4 attempts. So that's something that needs to be cleaned up. But against New York, he didn't have a great series, right? 21.3 points, 6.7 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and that was with 2 of those games, him being the number 1, him being the guy. He didn't really elevate his performance. He only shot 40% from the field, 29% from 3 on 6 attempts, but it was proven that he did have some issues. He was going through some knee problems. He had to get pain-killing injections in his knee, and he was playing with a partially torn right meniscus. I don't know the severity of that, but obviously a lot of discomfort in that knee. But remember, he was the 2024 Finals MVP, and he's ready to show he can play without JT. Without Tatum for his career, he's averaging 27, 7, and 3.7 assists in 39 total games played. That's a pretty promising stat line, and if he can just get that 3-point percentage up, he could be a big-time player for Boston this year and really break out and prove himself to the majority of NBA fans, and I think he's going to. I think he's one of the bigger breakout candidates for this year. And then Derrick White. I mean, look out for Derrick White to be a 20-point-per-game scorer this year. It could really happen. Averaged about 16.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.5 assists in 35 minutes a game last year. 44% shooting from the field, 38% from 3 on 8.2 attempts per night. Of course, he's fantastic defensively, making plays all over the place against Cleveland, against whoever they're playing. Great perimeter defender right here against Donovan Mitchell, getting the steal. And then, of course, being able to knock down the 3-ball. That's where he excels as an elite role player. Pretty much an all-star role player. That's where he got to. Now, as for Anthony Simons, he's coming over. He's still 26 years old. So if you look at it in the long run, the trade they made, he can be here for a while because he matches up with the timeline of this core of Brown, Tatum, and of course now Simons. Last year he averaged 19.3 points a game for the Blazers, 4.1 assists, 2.7 rebounds. They call him Baby Dame for a reason. Averaged 32 minutes a game last year, and he's an elite outside scorer, but he's also elite out of the pick and roll, right? Getting downhill with Klingon here, and he's not going to have anybody quite as good as Klingon in Boston this year because of, like we said, their lack of center depth, but still, he'll be pretty solid. Working out of the pick and roll here, getting to his spot, knocking down threes. This is a great backcourt, right? And Simon's hitting great defensively. Joe Mazzulla gave him maybe the most backhanded comment I've ever heard the other day. If you know, you know. He shot 43% from the field last year, 36% from three on 8.5 attempts a night. And with those 8.5 attempts per game, he's going to fit in just fine in Boston, right? Because that is what Joe Mazzulla wants. He wants you to shoot a million threes, because at some point they're going to start going in, right? He's on a 1-year, $27 million expiring contract, so it'll be interesting to see if they decide to move him at the deadline or if they keep him around and extend him. We'll see. It's kind of like a tryout for him all season long. Of course, they still have Peyton Pritchard, who will probably be the backup point guard still. Will probably be in the running for Sixth Man of the Year because he is going to be unleashed. Averaged 14.3 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and a steal last year in 28 minutes a game while shooting 47% from the field and 41% from three on 8 attempts a night. And he's going to be looking to add to his collection of Sixth Man of the Year award winners this year. Of course, coming off one last year, and now he's just going to have the ultimate green light coming off the bench because he is, without a doubt, their best bench piece. They got Sam Hauser back as well. He's on a 4-year, $45 million deal. It's looking like a little bit of an overpay at this point, but we'll see if he can play his way back into that contract because right now it is looking kind of egregious. He averaged 3.5 points in the playoffs in 8 games played. He's getting paid $45 million, and he scored 28 total points in the playoff run. That's not good. So he's got to get back to his old ways because he was so good for them during their championship run, and that's really what got him extended. They've got some development to do, though, because they've got guys like Keita. Of course, we talked about him earlier, but Baylor Shireman, if you can develop him into a good wing off the bench, you got something going for you. He started to gain some momentum towards the end of his rookie season. You see his stats over his last 16 games that he played last year. He shot 41% from the field and 38% from three during those 16 games. So definitely something to work with. Of course, Hugo Gonzalez, the guy you just brought in from Spain. I do like this pick. Maybe not the best. I would have loved like a Rasheer Fleming here, but Hugo Gonzalez definitely is more of an upside play down the road because he's 6'7". He's got great athletic tools, great physical tools as well. He's a smart cutter. You see the bounce right here, and if he can get his shooting down pat, then he's going to be pretty solid in the league, I'd think. You've got Neemias Queta, who's going to be your starting center. The Celtics have come out and said that, so we'll rock with him. I mean, he's always really good, like in Eurobasket when he's playing for Portugal. So now that he gets a real chance, it'll be interesting to see what he can do with it. You bring in Luka Garza and Josh Minot as well for some more depth. Garza's actually pretty solid. He proved he's too good for the G League, but not quite good enough to be an NBA rotation piece. But the fact that he has slimmed down and has extended his range out to the three-point line is really solid and will definitely help him when it comes to making an impact. And then Minot, really athletic wing that just never really got a chance for Minnesota. Again, a couple of other guys that are really here on a 1-year tryout, essentially, because that's what they got signed to. 1+1 deals that I think are going to be very beneficial for this Celtics team. But yeah, if they can get Tatum back sometime during March, have him for the last month or so of the season, and then make the playoffs and get rolling, this could be a team that could shock some people. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and then subscribe if you did enjoy at any point. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.